Hello, everyone. As you can tell, this is going to be a very, very long live stream. As you can tell, it's going to be a very, very long summer. I still cannot get over what happened yesterday. It wasn't a good night for me. I just it's alright when you don't make content because when you don't make content, you can put your phone to one side and go, right, I'm just going to have a nice lie in bed. I'm going to watch, TV. I'm going to watch a movie. I'm going to watch, whatever you want to watch other than football. But for me, who makes content, what was my phone doing? Buzzing the whole night because my TikTok has done well, my YouTube video has done well. This video, the match reaction, what I made yesterday, is on track to be my most viewed video on YouTube. And it's about us getting relegated. Not what I want. It's already beaten my promotion video, which we got promoted at Carlisle. And it's other fans from other clubs laughing at us because we are a laughing stock right now. We are embarrassing. And it is embarrassing. It's not right, in my opinion. And we've got to somehow recover, hopefully get rid of a lot of players, and then have a successful season next year. But there's no guarantee. But looking at the teams next season in League One, I honestly do believe if we put money on the table and we back the squad, we back Matt Bloomfield financially, there's a very good chance we can go straight back up because I don't think the league is that high in quality. I do think there's some teams in that league that are good. So your Stockport, your Boltons, for example, Charlton's, Wickham, I can see being back up there. So for those types of clubs, I can see them being top end, but I don't think their squad would be filled with so much quality, which is going to be so separate from everyone else in the league. I think there'd be quite a lot of clubs roughly at the same type of quality. And I do think whoever is going to be the most consistent throughout the season, that's going to get promoted, rather than one team completely dominating it. So, if we get our transfers right, there is a good chance, but I don't know if I'm just hoping and praying that's going to happen rather than being realistic here. But anyway, let's answer some of your comments which you guys have already been putting in the live chat. Thank you for tuning in this morning. I try my best to speak in a positive tone and not sound like I want to, headbutt the wall. But I can already see there's good numbers here this morning. So thank you so much for tuning in. You didn't have to. But yeah, thank you so much. Harrison, you've put straight away, I hope we get the wicket keeper next season. He's class. I'll definitely have a look at him. Morning, Mick. How you doing? I would say good morning, but we all know it's not exactly. It's a bad day. It is a bad day indeed, guys. Miles, you put, so most of the squad's gone, relegation clauses and all that. I think some are still under contract, unfortunately, Miles. Gamer Boy, you've put morning, Lewis. Neil, you've also said morning. Morning, guys. Rose, you put very sad day and long summer. Yeah, that's the key word here, long summer. Neil, you've put, I knew we were in for a bad day when I saw Ted and Menji in the starting lineup. Well, you look at the two games prior against Coventry and also against Bristol City. He did okay. I didn't think it was amazing, but I was kind of saying in my match preview that I wanted him to not start. I wanted Cal Naismith to start because I felt it was like a must. Leadership, get him into the side, progressive with the ball, experienced. I also felt Ted and Menji, and I'm going to mention him in my video later today, which is going to be the 5 things which we learned from the West Brom game. And guess what? We got relegated. But yeah, that video, I'm literally going to go in on him because I think that was the worst individual player performance I've witnessed this season. It was that bad. Someone who was completely miles off it. Him and Amari Bell, that was a total disgrace of a performance. Absolutely shocking. And I'm not Amari's biggest fan. But for Ted and Menji to perform like that after what we feel like is the problem this year, because he's He's played through an injury, and the reason why he did that was because he wanted to force a move. He's got new agents that have got into his head, and he's acted the way he's acted this season. It's an absolute disgrace. Don't want to see him in a Luton shirt. I really don't. And we'll make decent money off him. We'll make a profit because we signed him for peanuts, basically. Mick, you've put the nerves got to them. Yeah, I think they're folding under the pressure as well, which doesn't help. You need to turn up in big games. You're going to have big games in your football careers, and we need to become a team that is not afraid of a big game. There is this underdog story that Luton only do well when we're when no one's thinks we're going to do well. We need to get rid of that, in my opinion. We need to be a side that if Luton turn up, they'll win. That's the side we need to become. I don't want to become this underdog story anymore. We've gone past that now. We've had that moment. We've had that success. We're in this new phase now. I want to be a club where we need to turn up most weeks. That's what I want to be. I don't want to be, we only perform well when no one expects us to. Nah, I don't want that anymore. I've got so many comments. Thank you guys for all tuning in. Mick, you've put, when Ali equalised, I thought, great, here we go, and they are up for it. Then we all know what happened next. Exactly. Honestly, Mick, so I was in the stand, yeah, I was in the away end. Let me know if you were in the away end at West Brom. So the first goal went in, everyone was kind of like, right, okay, everyone was a little bit calm still. Then we got that equaliser. It went absolutely mental. So much limbs from that goal, and then we were like, right, come on then, let's get that second, let's get back into the game, and we went down the gears, we went down it. I couldn't believe the tempo. And then West Brom, because we just couldn't get grips off the ball, West Brom just dictated the game. They just thought, we're going to control it, and they're going to exploit us at every given moment. I could not believe it. It was, honestly, I just couldn't believe the reaction. You shouldn't have to score 3 goals to win a game of football away from home. You shouldn't have to. But we scored 3 goals away from home and we still lost the game. And because that first half, we let ourselves down. The second half, we were just... You knew what was going to happen the second half. We knew we had no choice to push for those goals. And West Brom, they exploited the spaces in behind. They got that fourth. Heads dropped again, because that's exactly what happens when you're up against it and you need to get that goal. That fourth goal happens, heads down, and then while their heads are down, they are too slow to react from a set piece. They have a shot from distance, it takes a deflection and it goes in. Game over. It was game over at 3-1 in my opinion, but at half time, I think everyone was looking at each other thinking, we're down. We are down. We are hoping and praying that Portsmouth could do it, and of course they didn't. Mark, you've put, had to be positive when the players, hard to be positive when the players cannot be bothered. Agreed. Neil, you've put, I never want to see Tender Menji in a Luton shirt again. Philip, you put, Gary Sweet has to address the supporters after that. It's his job, unpleasant or not. We need the right kind of leaders in the team next season. The squad is such a mess, it may take time to sort out. I do agree. It is a mess right now. In terms of what I said this with my dad, and me and my dad were having this conversation about Gary Sweet. What the thing is, if he does a club statement, after the like in the next couple of weeks, what are we expecting him to say, which we don't already know? That's what I have an issue with. What are we going to get different? Because we're not going to get anything different. We are not going to get told what players we were looking to try to sign, because clubs don't do that. We're not going to get told certain stories that happen behind the scenes. We're not going to get told that sort of information. So for me, I kind of think us doing a statement is pretty pointless, because I don't think we'll get anything. They've already admitted fault, and they've done that in programme notes. So I don't see what another statement, it's not going to make the situation better. It's not going to give us that little bit more info, which I think everyone wants. We're just not going to get that, unfortunately. We have a Watford fan here who I guess is definitely laughing so much about us. Not gutted about this, of course, but I really thought you were nailing it. Everybody did. You had the best form besides Derby. What a car crash. That was a polite Watford comment. Thank you. Yeah, it was a car crash, basically, against West Brom. Um, Thank you to the Man City goalkeeper, who is a member, Ortega. Hi, how you doing, mate? At this rate, Luton will be relegated to the Football League 2 next year. Very over-dramatic comment, but okay. Mick, you've put 5 things which we learned. We let in 5 goals. Yeah, exactly. Wrong focus in the club. The stadium, well, the stadium kind of needed to happen, so you can work on the stadium and also work on the first team, like we did when we won promotion. We were working on the stadium and also winning promotion. There's more to it than the wrong focus. There's other factors involved. Luke, you've put, do you think Naismith would be willing to stay? Bloomfield doesn't seem to favour him. I'm not too sure, I'll be honest with you, Luke. Firstly, would Naismith want to play League One? I think he's more than capable of playing Championship football and could be a good signing for a Championship side. Portsmouth could be a really good deal for him, actually. He might go back to Portsmouth. I can see him leaving Bristol City. He used to play for Portsmouth as well. So that would be a great signing for them if they really want him. So I can see that happening, especially on a free transfer. Gamer Boy, you've put 4.35 subs now. Yeah, I've gone up quite a lot of subs, if I'm being honest with you, and it's because of the video yesterday. I've gone up a sub while on this live stream, so thank you for people for subscribing to my channel. Plenty of content coming my way, and also since starting this live stream, I've had an extra 200 views on my match reaction. It's going to be my most popular video. It's such a shame. It really is. Let me update the subs. I can't figure out how to. Well, I do know how to figure it out. It's just really complicated on how to get stuff like just automatically updating, like Twitch does with the subscribers. I'll figure it out one day. Luton fans were hoping Portsmouth were going to win so we could stay up. This shows that the fans had no hope in the players turning the game around. Exactly that. We were basically singing Pompey chants. We were literally singing Play Up Pompey. I was one of them because I had no belief in the players on the pitch. The good news is for me, I don't blame Bloomfield for us going down. It's all on the players, Rob Edwards and the board in my eyes. Yeah, for me, it is a collective. I do not blame Bloomfield, and he's got relegation on his CV now as a manager, and I guess he won't be happy with that. So he would be quite angry, and I hope his anger is towards the players and he gets rid of as many as possible. Adam, you've put, how much is Rob Edwards to blame? Do you believe the rumours surrounding his departure? You need to tell me what the rumours were, but if it's to do with sleeping with someone else's wife, we need to take that as gospel. I have to be honest with you. Yes, those rumours are true. Apparently, Rob Edwards was a dirty dog. I don't know. We can't comment on that, can we? Especially as my channel is a PG channel and I've got so many jokes in my head right now, which I do want to say. Look, Rob Edwards is to blame. I think he tactically didn't adapt to an injury crisis at the start of the season. Matt Bloomfield adapted to an injury crisis. Matt Bloomfield improved players returning back from fitness and injuries. Rob Edwards did not do that. That's your problem. Rob Edwards also didn't change the formation when we didn't have any fit centre-halves available. So that was also his fault. So yeah, Rob Edwards is massively to blame. And also, he had an influence in the recruitment in the summer as well. He wanted certain players through the door. So yeah, he is massively to blame. But for me, the players have more to blame. Oh, I've missed a really important comment here. Where are you? Right. The club were too late to get rid of Edwards. He should have gone after the 5-1 Middlesbrough game. Yep, he should have done. For me, I was Rob Edwards out after Oxford away. And you can go, no, not Oxford away, Oxford at home in the 2-2 draw. And you could go back to that match reaction on my channel. And I had so many people in the comments saying to me, Lewis, you're overreacting. No, I wasn't. I saw a team that lost identity. I saw a team that lost belief in their own manager. And we needed to make a change. And we kept him in charge. There's no way at home you should lose against a side that's just been promoted from League One to the Championship, get outworked, and for them to come back from 2-0 down away from home. That should not happen. And we allowed that to happen. We were outworked by a very good Oxford team. And I thought Oxford were going to stay up from that day. Lewis, would you let the manager, Matt Bloomfield, go, or hold on to him to sort out a new team? I think it'd be incredible. It'd be so harsh to sack, Bloomfield. I don't think Bloomfield should leave. We've got a League One manager at least. He done well with Wickham. We've seen what he can do. He's improved the team. So let's give him a summer window. I believe the January window was quite good. At least 5 players from that January transfer window improved the squad. So I don't see any issues with January. We weren't in a position to attract good players because we were in the bottom 3. So yeah, I think, give him the summer. But he has to get it right the first 6 months. We've got to start good. Because if we don't, there's going to be so much pressure under Matt Bloomfield as he failed to keep us up. And that is the truth. He did fail to keep us up. I know it's not totally on his fault, but he did fail. Jake, you've put, I'm so disappointed, but we've got to go again like we always do. We've all seen worse times. Yeah, I agree. And that's why I'm still renewing my season ticket for next season. Mick, you've put, I feel sorry for Morris, who has been great in the last few games. But he obviously been playing with an injury, and yesterday was one game too many. And Mick, for me personally, this is when I do think Bloomfield should take some responsibility. If Morris can't do it, he was miles off it. It's like playing with 10 men. Then Nordas should have started from the beginning. Or Ali should have started from the beginning. Or you should have changed the formation from the beginning. He should never have started. If he was hurt, he should have never have carried on. At least only bring him on as a sub. If you can't give, 100% for the majority of a match, then you shouldn't be starting the game. You really shouldn't be. Neil, you've put, I think once we get rid of the dead wood, we can only hope we can go back to signing players who want to play for the club and run through a brick wall for us, like when Nathan Jones was here. Exactly, Neil. I totally agree. Rose, you've put, Lewis, Morris looked injured as he started the game. Yep, 100% there. Do you think Jordan Clark stays? Personally, think he's way too good for League One. Well, I don't think Jordan Clark will have many offers. I'm not too sure, if I'm being honest with you. He's out. I don't know if he's out of contract. He had his best ever season for Luton in terms of attacking output, in terms of goal contributions. Good goal yesterday against West Brom. I think he'd be good in League One. If we were to keep him, I would only keep him for 1 more year, and then I'll say goodbye to him. So it all really depends, really, what Matt Bloomfield wants to do. I kind of back him to do. I kind of back any decision he makes, but I can't see him keeping majority of the squad. Neil, you've put, whose wife was he knocking up then? Neil, I'm not even going to comment. I've heard so many different rumours. Honestly, it sounded like he was a dirty dog. I couldn't watch the game. I only saw the highlights. Was no one up for it, or was it certain players that dragged the team down at the start? I think it was a collective, if I'm being honest with you. I think it was a collective that just didn't really... I think they folded under the pressure, and then their heads went when we conceded the goal. And then it was like it was the old mentality again, like it was under Rob Edwards. Looking forward to League One. I think right now for me it's a little bit too soon, but I guess I get to tick off a couple of new grounds which I haven't been to. Also, did anyone think it was like watching us in the Prem yesterday, just getting consistently exposed on the wings again? Pretends to be shocked. Yeah, it was literally like that. They just exploited the gaps. That Fellows, who plays for West Brom, was outstanding, by the way. He just, tore us to pieces. He saw the gaps between, Ted and Menji and Amari Bell. In fact, all 5 of West Brom's goals came from our left-hand side. They targeted the left, West Brom. It was fantastic tactical display, and we just didn't address that at half-time, which I found mental. Why did we not address that? And I will be talking about that in my 5 things which we learnt from the game against West Brom. Mick, you've put Edwards was too rigid and a lot of the mess lays at his feet. 100% agree. What players would you want to stay and leave? I am making a video on Tuesday. If you are a member, you will get to watch this video early. Actually, let me talk about this because you guys won't know. So, I have at this moment in time, let me get my notes up. I think I've got over 15 videos planned for over the course of May, and I'm going to be working in advance. I'm going to be like ahead of schedule, and basically, if you are a member on my channel, you will get to see these videos a lot earlier than whenever anyone else is. If you're not a member, it's fine. You'll still get to see the video, but members get early access to these videos anyway. So basically, the who's going to stay, who's going to go, that video will be out on Tuesday. On Monday, I am doing my championship review. Of course, it's not going to be great. And yeah, on Tuesday, who will stay, who will go, will come out then. So yeah, I don't want to do it now because otherwise there's no video to be made on Tuesday. So yeah, I do think, the video will be out then. That's basically what I'm trying to say. 100% keep Bloomfield. Yeah, I agree. He should have been subbed on earlier. Neil, you've put how many of the starting lineup would you like to see in the Luton shirt again? Again, I kind of will answer that in the video on Tuesday, if I'm being honest with you. But I don't want to see many players. Keep the newish players. But apart from that, I don't want to see many players playing a Luton shirt again. Bell and Menji are both as bad as each other. That's why we need a Naismith who can cover centre-back and left-back. I just hope in the summer we just recruit the right players, the right type of profiles. And yeah, we get the old Luton back because we've missed that over the last 18 months. I think Kaminski could have done better on the first West Brom goal. I also do agree, but it doesn't help when Ted and Menji also cleared the ball back to the West Brom attacker, who then had a free shot at goal. That also didn't help the situation. Not the first time Ted and Menji has given a poor clearance away, because he did that against Bristol City. So yeah, frustrating. Really, really is frustrating. And I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm embarrassed. I'm not even wearing my Luton top over the summer. If I do, I'll be wearing it in my house. I'm not wearing it outside because I'm just ashamed right now because of what these players have done and how they've made me feel right now. I shouldn't feel this way, but I do. I really do. And what else? I'll tell you a story as well, by the way, what happened yesterday. So, I'm in the stands, and about, I think, 100, about 1,000, I don't know, it was quite a lot of us, actually. You know, I would say that it was half the away end were doing it, and everyone was singing, like, "You're not fit to wear the shirt," and I was singing it, and then what happened was, there was someone staring at me, don't know, giving me the most, like, the ugliest reaction ever. Just me. I don't know if he just pointed me out because I make content and he recognised me and he thought I was an easy target. And he said something to me, and I kind of was trying to lip read what he was trying to say, but he was basically moaning at me for doing it. And I just turned around and went, "Can you not see what we're performing?" And we're just going back and forth, and we're arguing with each other, and everyone's looking at me and him, just shouting at each other. But he was basically moaning about, "You weren't singing, they weren't fit for the shirt last week." And then I needed to educate him, because last week the difference was the players actually cared last week. The players actually wanted to stay up. But against West Brom, they weren't fit to wear the shirt. And regardless if we stayed up or not, this is not a good season. It's not a good season at all. So the fact that I had someone, and unfortunately, I guess every fan base has it, you've got idiots. You do. You've got absolute, idiots that think that's acceptable. And then some people clap that. How can you clap that? Back-to-back relegations. We're the fourth team to do this, by the way. Swindon did it in the 90s. Sunderland done it, obviously, more recently. And also Wolves done it. Now, if we're going to replicate one of those clubs, I would like to replicate Wolves, because they obviously bounced back to the Championship, went up to the Premier League, and they've stayed in the Premier League ever since. So that's what I would like us to do, but whether or not we're going to do that or not, I really do not know. Was watching OK Football last night, and I'm confused. I feel, why does Makose keep getting taken off at half-time? Should have been Ted and Menji. I think, Neil, this is because of Makoso's young age and lack of experience of dealing with high-pressure matches. That's the only reason I can possibly think of. but he's not the one. I think maybe we're protecting him from a coaching standpoint, but that would definitely be a question for Matt Bloomfield. I don't know if it's already been asked in games before, but by like the BBC Three County journalists. But that's a question for Matt Bloomfield. But I'm guessing it's because of inexperience, not handled big matches before, want to protect him. Naismith should have started, needed a leader. Goal might not have happened exactly. Walking home from the pub, my family were watching the game. I actually felt embarrassed to wear the Luton shirt. It's just walking around that West Brom stadium, walking past the home fans, and they had the smirks on their faces. And then you look online, the amount of people that are mocking us. Even that stupid Real Bedford owner, the one who's got all the crypto money, who's bankrolling Bedford Football Club. There's 2 teams in Bedford, but this is like the Real Bedford. And he's mocking Luton, and he's moaning that Luton put a complaint in by the FA. And he's calling us like certain names under the sun. Like, pipe down, mate. Stay in your lane. You're in non-league. You know, you're a small non-league club that has no history. So don't give it up the big un. You know, only because you've got like a stupid project which, you know, you want all the like praise to go on you because you've bankrolled a club in Bedford. Like, honestly, there is a certain word I want to say to him, but can't say it on YouTube. Lee, you've put all the players peaked when we got to the Prem, and on top of that, the players we've brought in supposedly are better quality but lack the heart and desire. Yeah, they do lack the heart and desire. I'm torturing myself, keep thinking a draw against Middlesbrough, a win against Sheffield United, and we stay up. Worst relegation in my memory, and I've seen a few. Yeah, you can look back at so many games. We can look back at that Portsmouth game at the start of the season. We can look back at the Plymouth game at home. We can look back at Borough at home. We literally, got relegated on goal difference. Goal difference. Why did we concede so many stupid, pathetic goals? That was another issue as well. So many poor goals we conceded in the first half of the season. It massively did improve under Matt Bloomfield. But it tells you that the job which Matt Bloomfield had was too much of a job. And that's why you've got to make the decisions a lot sooner. Oh no, what's happened here? Have I frozen? Oh no, have I frozen? Is my camera alright? Oh, it's my oh no, what's happened here? Have I got a technical glitch? Can you all hear me still? Right, hang on. Deactivate, activate. Right, can you all see me? Am I back? Please tell me I'm back. Right, I think, yes, right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I kicked a bottle and the wire went loose, so I had to reactivate it. But I'm back. Right, you can all see me and hear me. Sorry about that. Right, well, what was I saying? I've lost my train of thought. But yeah, there's so many games we can look back on and literally go, why did we not get a point there? Or why did we not get a point there? Honestly, you do more damage to yourself because it's bad when you look back at it. And even when we were winning convincingly, by the way, guys, look, we deserve to go down. And I remember when we were beating Derby at home, Sheffield Wednesday at home, Hull, Stoke, I came back and I did my match reactions and I was saying to you guys, we were not winning convincingly. We were getting lucky wins. We were covering the cracks with our wins. And people were going, Lewis, stop being negative. But I was telling you the truth. We weren't winning with conviction. It wasn't until recently when we've started winning with conviction under Matt Bloomfield. For the first time this season, that's when we were doing it. What's so shocking is that we looked capable after recent games, but Bloomfield didn't pick the team on merit like he has been. I think the only thing I had an issue with yesterday starting 11 was Ted and Menji starting. That was the only issue, and it should have been Cal Naismith. That was the only problem I had. So I don't think the lineup was miles off it. I just think Cal Naismith should have started. So that it was just the one change. Fanny could have started from the beginning. Not an issue with that. Not an issue with Clark starting. But yeah, I do think Naismith should have been the one to start. But then also, if Morris was not fit to start, why did he play? Mokoso, McGuinness, and Naismith have worked well. Why does Menji have to be shoehorned into the team when he hasn't earned his place? I do agree with that. I don't think Menji has performed well, and that's why in my match preview I said Cal Naismith should be starting. Neil, you put plus. Also, I'm surprised that McGuinness up front and Naismith didn't go up there when he came on. I think McGuinness, because he was more tired, it was a lot better for him to go up rather than Naismith, who had the fresher legs. Harrison, you put, can't believe we might be playing Luke Berry next year. I'm actually a bit worried if we play Charlton, because I do think Charlton will beat us under Nathan Jones, and I feel like Nathan Jones would do the fist pump into the home end, and it would really upset me. Surely we signed Jamie Vardy. No, we've got absolutely no chance. Jamie Vardy doesn't even want to play in the Championship, so we're definitely not going to sign him for League One. From Man City to Mansfield Town, exactly that. Minus 23 goal difference is like another 3 points being taken away from our final score. Again, exactly that. Totally agree. The players we are signing have no heart, and we shouldn't have kept others for so long. Yeah, we were too loyal. My daughter's boyfriend said a few weeks back that if we went down, it would be on our terrible goal difference. Yeah, look, we only had to draw yesterday. We only had to match or better Hull's result, and we were guaranteed to stay up. Instead, we do that. I did not think that performance was going to happen. I was excited for the game. What an idiot I am. What an idiot. Neil, you've put, I knew we were in a bad state when we started getting rid of the likes of Luke Berry. Players like him are the foundation of what our Luton team since the National League days. I understood why Luke Berry left, because Rob Edwards wasn't going to play him. So you have to think of it if you were Luke Berry. If Rob Edwards isn't going to play you, you're going to leave, aren't you? So, and there's nothing which, Gary Sweet and, the rest of the board, the recruitment team can do about that. If Rob Edwards doesn't have him in his plans, then you've got to make that decision. And, unfortunately, Luke Berry was the one that paid the price. Pelly's going to be the next to go as well. I can't see him being here next year. So, yeah, it is a bad state, but we now need to, in the summer, get the right characters in. And fingers crossed they can do that. Kevin, you've put season equals failure. Players believe in their own hype from agents and Rob Edwards. Going to struggle getting rid of the squad, as not many will be wanted. Only 4, in my opinion, to keep: Asgard, Makoso, Ali and Nelson. Would you keep Thomas Kaminski? I don't know if Thomas will want to stay. I think with what's happened this week, well, not this week, but with what's happened due to his father passing, he might want to go back home, and you can't knock him for that. So I think he might leave the football club. I think he might ask to leave. So yeah, I don't know if he'll be here next year. Thoughts on giving Woodrow a run of games next season over the likes of Morris, Adebayo, Brown if they stay? I don't see Woodrow being here next year, if I'm being honest with you. I think so many Luton fans have said some nasty things towards Woodrow, so I do think he will leave the football club. I do think people do go over the top with certain comments, and I think the comments towards Woodrow were certainly over the top. I don't think it was his fault, but yeah, he won't have a run of games next season. I cannot see it. Mick, you've put plenty of us idiots thinking Luton would win. Yeah, Mick, we are all idiots for thinking that. I don't think Joe Taylor had a very good season at Huddersfield. He picked up an injury, to be honest, with you, Gamer Boy. Neil, you've put, I honestly think it's going to be a tough season next year in League One, and I'm not banking on an instant return to the Championship. I'm not either, unless we heavily invest in the squad. I can't see it. Brian, you've put, I can see us signing free agents and loans. I do think we'll sign a couple of players on permanent deals. I've been given some strong inside info that we are planning to do our business early, regardless of what league we were going to be in. So fingers crossed we go and do that. And yeah, bring those players through the door. Next season, we have to build the team on character and drive as much as talent. I think Matt Bloomfield is the right person to do it, if I'm being honest with you. He's transitioned Wickham from Gareth Ainsworth to being a side pushing for promotion. So And with more money at Luton, I think he can do exactly that, and also with better facilities as well. Philip, no, that was your question. The only reason we've come straight back from League One is if the board splash some cash. I do agree. I do think they need to splash some cash. Playoffs, I think, will be our best bet. We have to be in the top 10 next season. It has to be a top 10 finish. Otherwise, it's a poor season for me. We have got to be one of the teams pushing for those playoff positions. And if we're not, it's a poor season. If you get relegated in any league, you have to be one of the teams pushing for those playoff positions. We need to sign a big name striker like Kone, and I can see Asgard and Kone linking up for so many goals next year. Well, that all depends if Wickham win promotion or not, because if Wickham do win promotion, he won't want to play in League One. Also, I don't think he wants to play League One football next year regardless. I think another Championship club will go in for him. I do think we'll try, but I'm not too sure that we'll be able to bring him to the football club. Not now we've been relegated. Who told you that info about early signings? Of course, I'm not going to reveal my sources, but I have been told that we are going to be signing. We're going to do our business. We're going to be proactive, and it's not going to be a repeat of last summer. I have been told that. So, yeah, mistakes are not going to happen again. Seems like it's more about who leaves. It kind of is, in a way, but I do think we're going to do business regardless on who's going to leave the football club. But yeah, we're going to do our business and then allow players to go when bids do come in for these players. But you also got to remember as well, players don't want to play League One. There'll be some players that will not want to play here next year. And they will force a move themselves. They will speak to their agents and go, right, I'm not playing League One football with Luton. I want to leave the football club. And we can just accept small fees. We're going to take a loss. But if it means players are off the wage bill, then we've got to do it. Bloomfield has to get the full backing off the board. I do agree. Neil, I also think Baptiste will stay, and I also think he might be better health next season. I also do agree with that, Neil. I think Walsh will also stay. I think our midfield, that's the one thing I'm going to be talking about in the next couple of videos, and it will be our midfield has kind of picked itself for next year. You've got Asgard, Baptiste, you've got Walsh. I would keep Walsh. I would do. He's the one player I would keep because of I've seen how good he can be. So there's three midfielders there. You've then got Clark if Clark stays. I need to do it here. Yeah, you've got Clark if he stays. That's 4. Zach Nelson, that is 5. You've got Fane, which is 6. You've got 6 midfielders already. So you might add another one into that mix. And that's without talking about the likes of Pelly, Nakamba. Who else am I missing in the midfield? I think I'm missing 1 or 2 others. But yeah, that's without other players as well. So yeah, and if you're playing with a 3-man midfield, you only need 2 players for every position. So you only need technically 6 midfielders. And I do think the likes of Zach Nelson, the likes of Joe Johnson will get a lot more minutes next year. I can see that happening. Right. Hasn't Coney gone off the boil? Yeah, he has, Mick. He hasn't scored as many goals in the second half of the season. But to be honest with you, Wickham as a whole also haven't. They've also, dropped down a few gears. Since Matt Bloomfield has left the football club, they haven't been the same. How much do you think we'll raise from player sales, and do you reckon our net spend will be? I'm not too sure, Matt, if I'm being honest with you. I'm really not sure. If we get money from these players, I do think we should reinvest the money back into the squad. But how much are we going to sell? I'm not too sure. Alfie Dougherty is the one player which we would get max, money for because he signed a new long-term contract. But my biggest concern with Alfie Dougherty is I think he's a system player. I really do. I think he only plays well in a certain system. Because when we changed to a 4-2-3-1 in those first opening games, he wasn't quite the same player. So I'm not too sure whether or not we're going to get the same Alfie. But then again, Alfie can play as a number 10. He can play in the midfield. So he might adapt Alfie's position. So that is a question mark. In fact, the whole formation next season is going to be a question mark. And I'm thinking about making a video on this. And in fact, any video ideas, guys, please put it in the live chat. As I've already mentioned I've got over 16 videos planned for May in itself. I've actually got a couple of days off this week, so I'm going to be doing a lot of pre-recordings just to get ahead of the game. Also, any breaking news that happens, I will give you it in terms of transfer rumours, in terms of club statements, if we do anything. So yeah, lots of content, so please stay around for the summer. I know it's going to be a long summer. Trust me, it's going to be a long summer for me too, because I've got to try and get my thinking cap on and think about the content. I will be doing so much League One content as well. Now we're in that division, and we haven't been in that division for a very long time, so I might break down certain teams. I might talk about certain teams' transfers to give everyone a little bit of an insight. So yeah, lots of content coming, you guys' way over the summer. So please, if you haven't already, smash the like button, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel as well. Also, please, while you're in the live stream, I know I've got this live stream, by the way, is doing really good numbers, and I'm much appreciated of that. Please smash the like button on the live stream. It helps the live stream perform better on YouTube, because what happens is, once the live stream is over and done with, I post it on YouTube for anyone to watch, and the video performs better over time as well. You can re-watch this back and listen to my thoughts as well. So yeah, smash the like button. It helps the channel so much, and yeah, we can keep growing. And I'm pretty sure I've gained a couple more subscribers over the course of this live stream, just because of how good the video is doing from yesterday with that match reaction, which is annoying, but on a positive note, maybe players will want to come to us next season, as Luton usually do well in League One. We do need to sign some winners and get rid of a losing mentality. That, for me, Philip, is the main thing, is getting rid of players with the losing mentality. Back-to-back relegations is something that not many teams do. So you need to dismantle the squad. You've got to get rid of the squad. And if we don't get rid of the squad, I think we're going to have another hangover. I really do. And I do think people's tempers are going to be on a fine line next year if we don't start well. It's not Matt Bloomfield's fault, that would be, but that's why you need to get new signings in quite quickly and embed them into the squad. And hopefully they start the season really well. Because if you win your first 10 games in the season, that's starting the season well, isn't it? And we've done that in the past, haven't we? We've started seasons well in the past, and look what happens at the end of it. I remember under Nathan Jones, we beat Yeovil 8-2 on our opening day of the season, and that we walked away from the stadium thinking, oh, this is a special year. We might do something. And what happened? We won promotion. But we can also start seasons slowly, like we did in that League One season under Nathan. We didn't start that unbeaten run into October, and then we went on that unbeaten run from October to all the way to March against Charlton, and yeah, it was a fantastic season for us. So look, I would like to start the season off well, is basically what I'm trying to say. Neil, you've put, I also think the lad we brought from Reading will be playing a few games up front next year instead of Ali Bay. Are you talking about Tyler Harris? Tom Holmes is going to be another player I think might leave the football club. Forgot to mention there. Do you think we will switch to the formation Matt Bloomfield wanted to play when he first came here, or stick with the three centre backs? I do think he's going to change formation. I think this is a massive indication that we are going to change formation. It's the perfect time to do it, especially in the summer, because one, you can dismantle the squad. You can also bring in. There's more players available to sign in the summer, so it's a lot easier to do. You also have multiple weeks of pre-season to implement your style and ideas. But whatever formation and whatever system, you need to sign players that are adaptable to play multiple ways, that fit a certain profile, and players that I think that, because basically what I'm trying to say is not every game is going to be the same. You can't play a 4-2-3-1 against every single team in the league, because some teams are going to change tactically how they're going to set up against you. Some teams might put more players behind the ball, which will then require us to play a more attacking formation to break them down. So we need to sign players that fit a certain profile that can play multiple systems. So I give you Morris, for example. I think Morris is a target man type of striker who can only fit a certain style. He isn't going to run in behind and get onto loose balls. I want to bring in a striker that can hold the ball up, that can dribble at defenders, that can also run in behind. I want the complete striker. I want the complete wide attacker. I want the complete midfielder. And they come at a cost. but it's a cost worth paying if you bring the right player through the door. So that's what I want to do. When does the window open? I think it's at the start of June, but you can start negotiating now, really. You can get ahead of the game. You can speak to players pretty much now. I think when you're in your last month of your contract, you can start talking to players. And also, clubs can start talking to each other now. They can't officially put a bid in yet, but they can talk to each other and kind of get some agreements in place. So you can get ahead of the game now. These next, it's only the start of May. These next couple of weeks, you can get cracking with stuff. But we might be after some players that might be in the playoffs. We might be looking at a couple of players in the League One playoffs, in League Two playoffs, or in other leagues as well across the world. So it'd be interesting to see what type of players we are looking at, and I'd be interested to see by the rumours as well. I can't see Alfie and Jones staying because I don't think they'd be wanted to play League One, and Bloomfield will want to play a back four. Are you talking about Isaiah Jones? Because Isaiah Jones has only recently signed. So Isaiah Jones will be staying. I can't see him leaving after 6 months. And also Isaiah Jones, you can kind of play him as a wide attacking winger, like he does for his country. He plays as a striker for his country, and he can score goals playing further forward. And he's already got a couple for us already. But yeah, Alfie, I've got a question mark over. But then again, for Charlton, he did play further forward, so there is a chance there. Gamerboy, you've commented, I think Osho was very overrated. Don't know if you agree. Yeah, I had this. I put a tweet out actually. If you're not following me across on my social media, please do. The links are in the description below. I did a post because some people were like, if Osho's available, sign him back. And I feel like Makosso is Osho's replacement. I'd rather us put a lot more time and energy into Makosso and making him a very good player for the future than re-signing old players. I think we need to kind of, have a reset. You could do a vid on what teams in League One to watch out for. Yeah, Mick, that would be a good idea. I can put that in. Oh, typical. We've got a Watford fan in the chat. Let me just remove him because I don't mind respectful ones, but I don't like idiots. So, yeah, there you go. Haha, I win. Video ideas. Players to get rid of, players to keep. That's already been done. Players you want to sign. That's already been done. Discussing the new kit manufacturer and designs. I do like a player reveal. I do a kit reveal and video, and I'll tell you my thoughts on the kit rather than talking about the manufacturer, because I can kind of do that all in one video if that makes sense. But yeah, thank you for the suggestions. And a video on each team's best players. Yeah, I can do that. That's easily done. But I would... video on each team's best players. Yeah, I could definitely do that. But it's probably worth waiting until after the transfer window in the summer, because someone might sign their best player in this, on deadline day, and I'd be like, he's their best player. If that makes sense. I reckon Ali and Bell. Wait, I reckon Ali with get Menji out of the club. Yeah, I agree. Everyone's mocking the Watford fan. Have you seen the trophy room? Exactly. As a Forest fan, we don't mind Luton getting relegated. Yeah, thanks, mate. You know what I find so funny? It's stupid. It's like irrelevant, pointless fans coming onto my live stream, coming onto my videos and mocking us. Like I've had Brighton and Leicester fans laughing. Leicester, you've just got relegated from the Premier League. Why are you laughing? And also Brighton, why are you getting involved? Oh, you beat us 4-0. I don't get certain people's heads. I really don't. Keep Menji, in my honest opinion. I would drive him to whatever club he wants to go to. I think his attitude has been absolutely shocking this year. I don't care what he did in the Premier League. We got relegated. So, pointless for me. So, yeah. Certain players I'm done with. I'm really done with. Lockyer would definitely go as well. I can't see us keeping Lockyer. Forest had to break the rules to get where they are. We're gonna go down a certain route, aren't we? If we're gonna go down this route, Neil, I wouldn't keep Tenen Menji as a boot cleaner. Philip, you put the thing I hate about football is the tribalism. If I've said that correctly, these people, why don't they just get off? Oh, the people that get off on the hate. Yeah, I've learned there are some special people out there that are very special, and like, look, we're not the only club that's been relegated from the Championship, but you don't see me going on Plymouth and mocking them or mocking anyone else. Like, and I never really do that. I can understand Watford and QPR. I completely get that. I would do the exact same. But other clubs, I don't get it. When there's not even a rivalry, and there isn't a rivalry between Luton and Forest. Forest should be annoyed because we've kept Derby up. So, and they want Derby to be relegated. But yeah, honestly, I don't get certain people. I really don't. Just my thoughts on it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to do live streaming for another, say, 5 to 10 more minutes, and then I am going to shoot off. My plans for today is going to be get ahead of schedule on the videos which I want to make and start planning ahead for the summer. Also, I'm going to the gym. So, yeah. And then also watching some football, which is going to make me cry and upset. I think there's some good games on today. Is it West Ham v Tottenham? For those two teams, it's like laughing at who's the worst one. What an awful season both clubs are having right now. Let's have a quick look. So, what are the teams on today? I think there's quite a lot of games on. Yeah, 4 Premier League games on. You got Manchester United v Brentford, Brighton v Newcastle, West Ham v Tottenham, and also Chelsea versus Liverpool. And it's the West Ham v Tottenham game on Sky. Oh, that's not even on Sky. Wow. What one's on Sky then? Manchester United's not. Oh, they picked Brighton Newcastle as the Sky game. Oh, that's a bit annoying. I'd rather watch Brentford v Manchester United over Brighton and Newcastle. And West Ham and Tottenham. Okay. Those are the 2 games I'll be watching then. Certain idiots cross certain lines. Yeah, they definitely do. Good banter is okay, but some fans take it way too far. Yeah. Luke, you've put you planning to cover the playoffs. I can do. I can look at the Championship or League One. So it's whatever your preferences are. Probably League One should be the more focus, really, shouldn't it? Because yeah, we're going to be playing in that division next year. But I will be watching League One next year. There is a player that I really like called Ethan Galbraith for Leyton Orient. And he's out of contract in the summer. But I do not know if we'll be able to get him. But he's a very good player. He can play as a right back, centre mid, right winger, number 10. He can cover so many positions. Such a good player. And if you watch So they beat Huddersfield, I think, 4-1 on the last day of the season. He set up 2 of the goals, I think. He put in a fantastic ball in. He showed really good athletic ability down on the right-hand side. Really, really good player. And he impresses me every time I watch him play. So he's definitely one player I would look out for. But could we bring him to the football club? I'm not too sure. Lol, sorry, my mate is a Luton fan. Just annoying him. I'm sure Luton should get straight back up. I don't know. I really don't know. Neil, you want to do League One? Yeah, I'll do League One. That will affect us more than the Championship, yeah. Thoughts on Kelman for Leyton Orient? I think he's a good player, but I've been told he isn't that good, according to people who's watched him a lot more than I have. But he's a QPR player on loan at Leyton Orient, but I don't know if QPR have any plans with him. I don't know, the future of him. We might actually look in at Stoke player, that Nathan Lowe, who was the top goal scorer at Walsall. And I'm going to do a little bit more research on him. But I wouldn't mind bringing him to the football club. He was really good for Walsall in League 2. He got recalled back by Stoke. So I wonder if, as a club that I do think needs to sign a striker, could we go in for someone like him in the summer? But he doesn't look like he's in favour at Stoke right now. And I don't think he even played many games. Let me just have a quick look. His name's Nathan Lowe. I can't remember how many goals he scored for Walsall, but he scored quite a bit. So Nathan, I think it's Nathan Lowe, if my memory's correct. Yes, it is. It's Nathan Lowe. Let's have a quick look. So he's 19 years old as well, so he's quite young. And he scored 18 goals for Walsall. He played 10 times for Stoke since being recalled back. But when I look at the minutes he played 2 minutes against Derby, he played 29 minutes against QPR, 9 minutes against Coventry, 61 minutes against Borough, 4 minutes against Swansea. So he's not exactly like he's playing loads of games. He's come through the Stoke Academy, so Stoke might require some fee for him. But what he did at Walsall was quite good. So I don't mind bringing in someone like him to the football club. As a Forest fan, you think you might keep Josh Bowler? I can't see it, if I'm being honest with you. The lad from Hemel, Ollie Lynch, Pebble, time for them to make the most of this opportunity. Yeah, well, Matt Bloomfield's going to get to assess these group of players. I don't know if Pebble is actually out of contract. He's been at the club for quite a long time. He is young. He had a good spell at Chesterfield. In fact, Chesterfield, I think, are in the playoffs, aren't they? They might get promoted, and Pebble might be winning promotion with Chesterfield. Chesterfield are playing Walsall in those in the playoff semi-final in League Two. AFC Wimbledon are going to be playing Notts County. So this is the thing with us. We could be looking at players who play for these teams and see if we are interested in any of them, especially League Two as well. And don't knock because they're playing for League Two clubs that we shouldn't sign them. You know, we are successful as a football club because we sign players that not many teams wanted. So, and that's what made us the team we are, a team that was willing to fight for a brick wall for each other. But if we don't, then I hope we sign some top quality players, that's for sure. But if I have a quick look at Pebble, he, where am I? Squad, here we go. Where is he? Pebble, here we go. Yeah, he's 22 years old now, Pebble. He turns 23 this year. He scored 5 goals in 21 appearances for Chesterfield. He scored 11 goals for Southend in his loan spell this year. He's been playing. He came on 10 minutes against Accrington yesterday, 27 minutes against Morecambe, 61 minutes against AFC Wimbledon, 22 minutes against Fleetwood. He set up the goal. He's playing. Looks like over the last couple of games he's been playing more off the bench, but that's because they've got like the likes of Will Grigg and Paddy Madden, who are more experienced players. But it's definitely a question mark for Matt Bloomfield, that's for sure. Derby fan here, unlucky yesterday, but at the end of the day, someone had to go. What is the biggest thing that has gone wrong for you in your opinion? Making poor football decisions and also getting rid of Rob Edwards far too late. We should have done it a lot sooner because the problems at Luton were a lot bigger than originally thought. And yeah, it just took far too long. We missed out on other managers, which was annoying. But it's because we took too long to get rid of Edwards. We gave him too much time. I would say it's the biggest reason why. But also players as well thinking they're better than what they are and not willing to give 100% like they used to. They thought giving 80% was enough to win a game of football, and it just isn't. Will you be doing a 10-minute video on every player that Luton sign, stats and highlights of their careers? I could do like I could do a player focus video for sure. I need to figure out how to do it, like a good way to do it. Mick, let's hope next season is far more enjoyable than this one. I do feel pretty optimistic about Bloomfield. Sean, what has been the one major disaster that's caused Luton to demise? Not getting rid of Edwards. Kieran, too many things have gone wrong to be able to talk about. Yeah, Agree with you in your vid about spending money. Feel like a full reset is needed in terms of the squad. The mentality of the squad is shocking bad. This group has the ability to crumble. Yep, basically, yeah. Could Luton get Sean Dyche? Nope. We're not going to be replacing Matt Bloomfield. Mick Edwards was the disaster. 100% agree. But yeah, guys, I'm thinking about ending the live stream there, as I've got a full packed day ahead of me in terms of getting videos out as well. So thank you everyone for watching this live stream. Much appreciated. If you haven't already, please smash the like button on today's live stream. It does help the live stream perform a lot better. Over 450 people tuned into this live stream today throughout this last hour, so much appreciated. Great numbers. I think I know why the numbers were so high, because of the relegation. But hey, look, it is what it is. Try and be positive for next season, I guess. But plenty of content coming your way over the summer. I will be live streaming every single Sunday at 11 o'clock. So yeah, if you guys are bored over the summer holidays, I will still be watching, still be producing content and live streaming. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my video that comes out today. Thank you for watching.